There's no doubt we live in the most perplexing era ever known to mankind, in a time of severe economic fluctuations happening all around the globe, in a time when people set out of their homes and they are not sure whether or not they would come back alive. And this is not because of a crime they think they may commit, but because of the heated hatred and self-centeredness fired up in the hearts of so many people by the wrong information fed to them through the various media and religious institutions, and because of the broken down security structures in our society. We live in a time when relationships are in severe turmoil now more than ever. More and more people are confused as to where they fit in, why they exist, or even who they are. Because of these and other reasons, almost everybody is carrying a burden that is not meant for him or her. People are constantly afraid and worried about one thing or another. And this dis-ease is not only found in places where there is not enough, but even more so in places where there is more than enough. You'd be surprised to know that most of the seemingly rich people are the most frustrated citizens of Earth right now. Before we talk of the cure, let's talk about the causes. Here are the three major reasons why we worry. 1, we look upon the present moment as either flawed because of something that has happened but shouldn't have, or as imperfect because of something that has to happen but haven't. And we forget that just as without silence there could be no sound, we could not have any physical experience or thing without first being alive. And so we take the gift of life for granted, not being able to see the things that really matter. 2, we depend completely on our mind for information. Unfortunately, our mind can only understand facts and figures that we've gathered through our mortal senses from the past until now. You know, human beings are not created to depend on facts. We're created to live by faith, because facts change. Only the truth is permanent. It is a fact that you're listening to me right now, but the truth may be that you would not be listening to me for the whole of today. And so that fact would be invalid after about an hour from now. Instead of controlling and using our thoughts to create the good that we desire, we have become slaves, possessed and controlled by feelings and thoughts. 3, conditions have been created in our minds that make us judge certain things like a relationship, a social status, a place, a name, or a possession as that special thing that will make us more valuable, better, or happier. And so we compare our current situations with these seemingly perfect conditions. And by doing so, we lose focus and become disturbed. We forget that the current moment is the only moment there is. That is the only one we have. You know, when you're on a journey, it is helpful to know where you're going, or at least to know in which direction you're moving. But the only one thing that is ultimately real about your journey is the step that you're taking right now, because it is the only moment that you truly have. So I do not know the circumstance that you're in right now, but I know this, that you are not a victim of circumstance. You get to decide what to think and how to act no matter what. They say that you can take everything away from a man except one thing, and that is the freedom to choose one's own attitude in any given set of circumstances. Do you know that you, the being living in your body, are the most powerful entity on earth? Viktor Frankl was one of the few survivors of the Holocaust. It was a genocide, which was a systematic killing of more than 6 million European Jews during World War II. And he is the writer of the book titled Man's Search for Meaning. You know, after he had gone through the worst of situation a man could possibly imagine, he confidently said that it is not what happens to me that matters, but what happens in me. All conditions in this physical world is highly unstable and constantly changing. Every situation that you would ever face in your life will change, disappear, or no longer satisfy you. See, the very thing that gives you pleasure today will give you pain tomorrow. or it will disappear. So its absence will give you pain. And so again, I agree with Viktor Frankl's statement that a human being can never be shaken by any circumstance of life, if only his or her hopes and the consciousness of his or her real value is anchored in things higher than mere physical experiences. Here are the simple 3 secrets to a worry-free living. 1. When we start to live free of worry is when we truly start to live. But they say that to truly live, you first have to die before you die. Die to the ego. The ego is a self-centeredness that makes us feel better or inadequate compared to other people. It makes us want to show off, to measure up to irrelevant standards that seem to give other people a fleeting sense of significance. The ego makes us measure our real worth with the things we have or do not have. And so by dying to the ego, we truly start living from the inside out. We start to depend on our creator instead of on ourselves and on others. We become real and free. 2. Give, but more importantly and often, ask for forgiveness. Give and receive as each moment demands and supplies. Knowing that you are not here to accumulate things or to be worshipped, you are here to give to humanity through selfless service. This is the only way that we find our real worth. 3. We can have things, use things, honor things, but we never have to develop an attachment with anything at any time, in any way. We have to know that we do not know all there is to know, and we would have to be willing to ask and follow God's guidance, the quiet mind. The day that we realize that we are nothing on the outside, no matter the labels and the things that we've come to gain, is the day that everything divine that we are on the inside will start to show up. This is your life. It is a very short ride out here. We would have to be intentional about the things we pay attention to. The body is more important than clothing, and the life is more important than possessions. When we really focus, we will see that we can do good without most of the things that we lose sleep over. We would see the things that really matter. We will be content with our own portion. We will be free. We will be real and absolutely free from worry.